Hey everyone, Nick Walsh here at LiveX, and today we are going to unbox the Hollyland Cosmo 1500. Now Rob a couple weeks ago unboxed the 1000, and this guy's gonna get you 500 more feet of wireless video transmission. So let's take a look inside. First of all, the case. This guy definitely feels like it's made of pretty good material. I think it doesn't say who makes it, but it feels kind of like the SKB cases. These latches over here, pretty nice. So let's take it open. Let's see what's inside. I'll flip around to you guys. Over here, so yeah, you can see nice foam. It's like really hard foam, so you don't need to worry about that like squishy foam that like doesn't do anything anyway. But yeah, it seems like everything's like pretty secure in here. So I could pull this guy out. You see the transmitter and the receiver inside of here. So let's put that over here. And then on the inside, you can have all of the goodies in here. So it's a 2-layer system, and what's really great, I don't know if it's easy to see here, but everything is labeled, so that way it makes it really easy to make sure that your kit's together before packing up, which is really, really handy. So I'm gonna take everything out and then we'll go through it one by one. So I'm gonna start with the antennas. So these are actually responsible for the video transmission. Now everything is gonna go over the 5.1 to 5.9 gigahertz range. And what's really cool is it actually dials the frequency in for you. You just pick a channel out and it changes depending on how much frequency availability there is. So it's pretty great. So let's take out the antennas. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as I drop that one, 7, and 8. So these guys are going to be responsible for the wireless video transmission. It operates over a 5.1 to 5.9 gigahertz spectrum. And it's really great is you don't need to worry about those numbers. It kind of does it for you. You just choose the channel on the transmitter and the receiver, and it's going to pick the frequency that has the least amount of resistance for you. So that's pretty cool, especially if you're using more than one set, or if you're in a very high intensity or like frequency interference environment. It'll kind of navigate that for you, and you don't need to worry about coordinating that like you would a wireless microphone. So let's get this case out of the way. Yeah, these are made of pretty good sturdy material, so you're not going to be worried about them falling off or anything. They articulate, so you could put them at whatever angle you want to do. So yeah, let's put these over to the side. So let's go through the cables. What you got here is a D-tap to 4-pin LEMO, which you could kind of see here. So this is how you're gonna power it on either side. The one note that I do have about the kit is I wish it had an AC power. They have AC to D-tap that you could just add on to this. For the receiver, because sometimes you're gonna want that on a hard wire. You're not gonna want that to be off of a battery. It just like reduces a possible point of failure. So I wish it came with one of those, but those are pretty easy to get as an add-on. But yeah, you have the same power on both of them. You 4-pin LEMO into the actual device and then D-tap off a battery or a D-tap to AC power. Then we got 2 arms here that they give you for mounting it. There's this crab arm if you want to attach to a table or something. This will probably be used for the receiver. And then over here is this articulating arm. I've not seen one in this style before, but it looks pretty cool. I'd be excited to test it out. I want to make sure it gets really tight, because that sucks when you have a device attached to a camera. It's like flopping all over the place. But no, it seems like it gets really tight. Like I'm not able to even mess with it at all. So what you'll do is, you'll attach it with these 1/4-20 screws to the bottom of the transmitter receiver, and then attach the other side to a 1/4-20 on the camera, and then lock it in. And then that way you can have it at any angle to get the best frequency and also to be out of the way of the camera operator. Also over here, we got user manual. I'm pretty sure everything you could find online, so I won't bore you through by reading the manual to you, but yeah, you could probably find that online. And then now for the most important part, let's pull out the transmitter here. Pull out the plastic. So this is the actual device you're going to attach to a camera. It's the smaller one of the two, and it's pretty light, which I know is a concern for camera operators. You don't want your rig to be too heavy. So this is definitely something I wouldn't mind adding to a camera rig. So you'll notice here on the bottom are 1/4-20 screws. And this will be what you'll normally do to any kind of stand or the camera itself. But it's a transmitter, so you'd probably attach it directly to the camera. You also have this 3/8 if that's what you're using, or if you want a mic stand or something like that, you'd tap it into the bottom here. So now the top of it, you can see these yellow dots here, they're covering the antennas, where the antennas go, so they screw on. And I really like that these caps are here, so then that way you could protect these in the case, or also from the elements when you're not using it, so that way you could get a perfectly clean signal. On the top here, you'll notice the battery, it's gonna be an L series battery, so you could get kind of a swit and be able to detap off of that if you need a light or anything like that. But it's gonna be powered off of L series, not a V mount or something, which is good too because, again, you don't want your rig to be too heavy, and if you need a V mount for one of these things, those are pretty heavy, so I kind of like that it's an L series. So let's check out the I/O. There's a USB port here, so that's going to be for firmware updates. HDMI in. On the other side, you have an SDI in, and in the middle here is SDI loop out. So the loop out you're going to use for a monitor, and the SDI and HDMI in is what's actually going to be transmit. Now, this does not act as a converter, so you can't input HDMI and get SDI out on the other end. It has to be the same on either side. So that is the transmitter. Let's see right here. Let's see what the receiver looks like. So this is bigger because this does not need to be as mobile. You could kind of just set this up where it's within line of sight of the transmitter. You don't need to worry about finding a place for it. So let's look through this guy. The other remaining antennas go here, has the same caps. You will notice the battery is different on here. This is a V mount. You also have a side D-tap here if you want to plug in a light or anything like that. So you also have here, which I didn't go over on the transmitter, but it's pretty similar. You could pick the channel here. It works kind of like a walkie-talkie where you just match channels on either side and it will find the frequency range that works the best. So you just use this knob to pick your channel, dial it in. Over here you can also see the signal strength, so you could see which channels are going to be best. And then you could see your video status and your link status. You can also turn it on and off here, and then here's where you'll power it. And over here you also have some I/O. There's a USB, HDMI out, and 2 SDI outs. So again, if you're plugged in on HDMI on the other side, you'll use the HDMI, same for SDI. The one thing I forgot over here is that you do have a stereo in on the transmitter. So if you need like a mic that you don't want to use directly into the camera, you just plug it into the stereo in and it'll embed it for you. This will pass timecode and it will also pass audio. So it pretty much works like an SDI cable, just wireless. So it's pretty powerful. I'm really excited to see this out in the wild, especially with 1,500 feet. Thanks for watching. If you want to see any more unboxings, check out our YouTube channel at LiveX Production. Also, you can see us at Twitter at LiveX Production as well, and check us out on Facebook. Have a good one, guys.